This is DRF Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for Monday, November the 22nd. It's the $250,000 Steel Valley Sprint for 3-year-olds. Let's take a look at this field at Mahoning Valley, race number 8. Download free Formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them, handicap along with us. You give away $250,000 for 3-year-olds. They're going to come full field, good field.
Good field and several really talented shippers coming in, Dan. You're right. You put up the money and they'll show up for it.
Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector. And I do agree with Timeform US. I think this pace should be contested. I think this pace should be fast. Real Talk, the number 7, tried to go with Jackie's Warrior last time out in the Gallant Bob. Understandable that he couldn't. Baby Yoda, we have to find out if he's for real or not. Pop that giant buyer speed figure 2 starts back. And Barron is no slouch either from the gate. He's quick.
Yeah, there's plenty of pace in this race. I think you're right. Maybe the key to it is Baby Yoda. We'll see what he does here as he looks to rebound out of a pretty disappointing effort in the Vosburg last time, but he should be forward, and Barron is a pretty fast horse down towards the inside.
Connections did well to claim the 1 Kiltoom for $10,000 out of his career debut. 5 starts since, stakes placing, never off the board. Let's watch the most recent race at Mountaineer off of a 2-month layoff. Showed some good speed in here, and you see they swamp him turning into the stretch. He's going to finish 3rd, only a 48 buyer speed figure. If he goes from the rail, he's going to get cooked early.
It's a tough position for him to be in because he has to break running, and then there's plenty of speed to his outside. There's nothing to really knock about his overall form, Dan, but he's in way over his head here.
Barron, 2 starts back in the Gallant Bob, was in against Jackie's Warrior. Didn't run very well that day at all, but rebounded when dropped in class at Penn National. Let's watch the Danzig Stakes for state breds, and Barron took some heat in the early portion of this race. Sub-22 opening quarter mile, and Barron just keeps right on rolling along. 90 buyer speed figure. This is a solid horse. He's won 7 of 14.
Yeah, he's a really solid horse. He's probably very underrated as well, Dan. All of his races sprinting for the most part since he broke his maiden. They're good performances every single time. An easy winner there after taking some pace pressure. Listen, this is a tough field, but I think he fits right in with these horses if he shows up and runs his best race, and he's a very fair price on the morning line.
The last time Jackson Traveler went turf to dirt, he did this in the Star Denastra Stakes, a restricted event at Pimlico. Now, yes, he was only in against 2 other horses. He broke sharp, sat just off the outside. He's 1-2 in this race for a reason. He's supposed to win. He polishes it off. He earned a solid buyer speed figure, and this is a horse that has run some fast races.
Yeah, he's another horse who has license to be very competitive in a field like this one. Personally, Dan, I just feel like he's a way better dirt horse. 3 of his last 4 starts have been on different surfaces. He's run fine in those races. I think he's way better on dirt.
All right, the key to the race is Baby Yoda, the 4. We have to talk about him in depth. 114 buyer speed figure. Not like it came out of nowhere. His first start for Bill Mott was a big buyer performance, but still a 114 is just out of this world. He looked really good doing it. He ran back in the Vosburg. Some might argue he underperformed against Following C, who came back to run a good 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. I'm not sure what kind of horse Baby Yoda is. He's probably not a 114. He's probably not the horse he ran in the Vosburg. He's probably somewhere in between, which makes him very tough in this spot.
I agree with that. I think he's somewhere in between as well. The 114 might be a little high at Saratoga, but he still ran a very fast race that day, and it's been a very live race too. The 2nd and 3rd finishers both came out of that race to run really well in subsequent starts. He didn't run well last time. He didn't break great in the Vosburg, and then he didn't run very well. So he does have, I guess, something to prove here. But in a lot of ways, he probably is the horse to beat.
Lasix back on for the 4, Baby Yoda. The 5, New Bomb, I think is a bit of an underrated horse. He tried Jackie's Warrior in the Alan Jerkin Stakes. That didn't work out. He was actually entered in the Gallant Bob, and Kelly Breen took one look at the entries, saw Jackie's Warrior, and said, no. We'll find a better spot. And they did. At Belmont. Now winners of 2 other then against older horses. Let's watch New Bomb's game performance at 8-1. He showed speed down towards the inside. He's going to be confronted by cost basis right here. And little New Bomb, a spunky little horse, just draws off for a bit, and he wins by a head with a solid number. I think he's a horse that if he can sit a little bit, and that's a big if, he could contend at a price.
Yeah, I think so too. He ran well in this race, where it was just one of those odd races, though, Dan, where he was able to get to the early lead because nobody else really went. And then once he got control, he was just very game when Cost Basis, who's a little bit of a phony, but Cost Basis came to him and he wouldn't let that horse get by. This horse is actually, I'm with you. I think he's underrated. I wonder what kind of trip he's going to get in here.
Here's the class quiz for the 6. Mr. Luigi up from Gulfstream Park off of a pair of victories. Let's watch the latter victory. 6.5 furlongs on October the 8th. He was the favorite in here. He was in control of the race on the turn while well off of the rail. He has the lead. He wins with an 82 buyer. The 4th horse would come back to win an entry-level race with an 89 buyer speed figure. This horse has the right running style. We'll find out how good he is.
Yeah, it's a pretty big class test for him because this isn't actually a pretty strong field. I do think he has to improve to win, but maybe he'll just fall into a trip and will manage to take a little bit of a step forward here. I can't say I'm a big fan of his day because I don't like the way he finishes in his races, but he is going to be a fair price in here if you like him.
Mike, even though there appears to be a lot of speed in this race, Real Talk might be the speed of the speed. Winner of the Jersey Shore at Monmouth 2 starts back. He tried to go with Jackie's Warrior early, and Jackie's Warrior just sort of rebuffed him after 3 furlongs. But Real Talk still finished ahead of Barron in that spot. He is quick from the gate, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think you got to send him.
Yeah, I think they'll go to the front with this horse, and I think he's a very dangerous horse for the rest of these 3-year-olds to have to chase around the track. His recent form is actually very good. This horse he's another one. He's probably a little bit underrated. He's going to be tough in here.
The last time the 8 Channel Fury went second off of a layoff, he was an open lengths winner with an 80 buyer speed figure. But this horse didn't fire last time out at Mahoning off of a little bit of a layoff. Maybe he can prove second start back. He ran some solid figures at Thistledown, big class test.
Yeah, it feels like a pretty tough race for this horse. He won the first 3 dirt sprints of his career, but the waters have gotten deeper. His figures have actually held up recently, but the water's gotten deeper, and he hasn't really stood up to it.
Indiana bred, number 9, a few too many. Well, he's tried open company twice before, and it hasn't worked out for him. He's a solid horse. He's won 5 times in his career. Respectable buyer, 2 starts back against state breds, but this just might be a little bit too tough.
I think it probably is too tough. I actually like him as a horse. He's run some really nice races, and I do think he's going to get a good trip in this race. I just wonder if he's good enough.
Timeless Bounty was claimed for $15,000 at Thistledown 2 starts back. Let's watch his first start for the new connections at Mahoning Valley on October the 25th, and he's going to run a solid third over a wet track. We see him on the far outside attempting to make up some ground. He's a horse that's done some good things in his career. He's been on the board in 9 of 13. He just seems a little bit slow, and I'm not sure he has the upside that is necessary for him to overcome this field. He's hoping for a pace meltdown, I guess.
Yeah, just hoping this race totally falls apart and he can pick up some pieces. He looks like he's in way too tough here.
Ahimelech is the number 11, 4th last time out at Mahoning Valley. It was a race that didn't really feature a fast pace. The runner-up did come back to win 2 other than with a 72 buyer, but this is a horse that reeled off 4 in a row earlier this year, and I wonder if he's feeling the effects of a hard campaign. 12th start of 2021.
Yeah, I mean, they've raced him a lot, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, and they've actually done pretty well with this horse. He's another one, though, who's just stepping way up in class into a race that came up very tough.
And one of the local hopes is Insofar, the 12, 30 to 1 on the morning line, coming off of a career best buyer victory at Belterra, going 6.5. Let's watch Insofar, who took them all the way on the lead. He went up right to the front, drew clear on the turn, and is able to score. Nice 82 buyer speed figure, worlds different from a class perspective in this spot.
Yeah, he ran really well in this race. This is a very nice performance, but it came in a spot where he was able to get loose on the lead early, and he's not getting loose in here.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Steel Valley Sprint. I'm sure after Baby Yoda earned that 114 buyer speed figure that Bill Mott was thinking, well, maybe Brisk Up Sprint, maybe Malibu, tempered the enthusiasm a little bit, still running for some good money here at Mahoning Valley.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think it's kind of a make or break race for the horse.
I kind of feel the same way. I think he's the horse to beat. I don't really trust him, and I kind of want him to prove it to me, especially if he's going to be a short price. I like Barron. I think he fits right in this race, and he's too good a price on the morning line for me not to take.
What sort of a trip do you think Barron's going to pull in here, Mike? Do you think he can sit off horses, or do you think he's going to try to go with them?
I think he can sit off horses. We've seen him win stakes races from off the pace in New York in the past, Dan. So he can sit. He's going to be forward in this race, but he doesn't need the lead.
2437 for Mike, 4735 for me. What a fun race to kick off Thanksgiving week. It's the Steel Valley Sprint at Mahoning Valley. Good luck.